how small acts of kindness and showing up and doing the right thing can create such a big difference. And it's all, personal stories that I've been a part of like the secret to living is giving, and how, just small random acts of kindness can go such a long way.
Hi, guys. This is Vinney Chopra with Apartment Syndication Made Easy, Abundance Mindset, and also Motivational Talk. Hi, guys. This is Vinney Chopra back again at you. I hope you're liking the content. The 3 shows that I do now: Mentor the Youth. That's on Wednesday, 1 hour show, which is syndicated, goes all over the world. Then also Thursday, Abundance Mindset show with Walter and I on Thursday when I walk. And then today I did my walking show actually for the youth also, which was very exciting. I brought a Stanford graduate into my show. That was very great. Joshua was there. He spoke and he's going to be there 3 weeks, by the way, as I go to Sicily and Malta next week for 3 weeks. So no way. But then let's talk about also Friday, I do Winnie and Bo show. So those 3, plus the podcast, plus my 2 books are coming now. They're already there, Senior Assisted Living, and we'll be launching my Positivity book, 2nd edition, revised edition. I hope I can really add value to you. That's being launched on November the 3rd. So make me a big seller again, just like you've done before. So we're going to be lowering the value price from $24.95 to 99 cents. Kindle edition, 99 cents. We can go cheaper. I would love to give it for 1 cent, but Amazon doesn't allow you. But I want 1 million people to read that book and listen to my orators are working on it and so forth. Thank you so much. I'm so privileged to have a great personality right here with me hanging out, Ajay Gupta from Celebration, Florida. I'm here in California. He's there in Celebration, but I'm going to do something special. Rather than him telling about him or me telling about him, I'm going to share the screen and we are going to go straight into his introduction. And it's right here. So let me go ahead and first go share the computer sound, which I just did it. And there we go. So let's
facilitated over 1,000 talks across the United States. AJ's passion is to travel, and he's had the privilege of traveling to over 46 countries. And he's spent time with the world's most influential leaders, including Sir Richard Branson and His Holiness the Dalai Lama. With phenomenal interpersonal skills and a unique gift to connect and create a fun and enjoyable learning environment, he helps his clients tap into their unlimited potential, show up with more confidence, love, and energy, so they can create a life by their design. All it takes is one conversation. See and feel the difference it'll make for you and your life today. Click on the link below to schedule your first call with Ajay Gupta.
Very good, AJ. Again, welcome. I started maybe looking at it if it's working fine. I know the early part is very exciting. You're with Tony Robbins. You're with great Sir Bronson also. Maybe I saw the picture. And Ajay Gupta was born in London, England, as everybody could see it. Raised by 2 of his most loving, selfless people. That's Anil and Meena Gupta, his parents. And Ajay and his beautiful sister Anu spent their childhood surrounded by huge family, grandparents, aunts, uncles. And that's the reason I'm here today in USA, because of my grandpa, who paid for my ticket to come here with $7. Some of you know, I came into this country with $7 in my pocket many years back. But the key thing is, who have siblings and everything. Indian culture and a lot of other cultures around the world are so intertwined together with the cultures like that. Thanks to the constant immersion, they learn early stage love and give unconditionally. So true, Ajay, and we're going to dig deeper into that. The direction of Ajay's life changed when more than 20 years ago he looked so young. I thought he was 20. Literally, I'm telling you. Ajay, you look 20, man.
Thank you,
He
thank
was
you.
introduced to landmark education, unleash the power within. Oh, Tony Robbins. I've done the walk, the boardwalks and breaking and the fire walks, and Neil and Monica and Kanchan. We have been to many of Tony's assets. I mean, and he's really changed my life, just to say that
Mm.
publicly. Tony, and we met also at some conferences, but not as close as you. And and they really have changed my life for the better, in learning. So powerful, dynamic, inspirational speaker, corporate trainer, Ajay has the unique ability to help people discover where they are mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually and financially, and then pinpoint what's preventing them from taking action. We're going to dig deeper into that, because we're going to break some barriers in our thinking, because that's what this show is about, for us to think outside the box, get out of the comfort zone, and make things happen. Ajay, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's an absolute honor, and I'm so grateful to be here. Truly, really, really grateful to you. Thank you for hosting such shows and creating a space and a platform for people to come and listen and to learn and grow. It's a beautiful thing. So I appreciate you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm just the vehicle. And, the guests who come on the show, they really have amazing and inspiring stories and principles that they have developed, and the habits they have made, and they are making difference in people's life. That's what it's all about. This life is
Mm.
so short. I say that 100 years, if somebody lives, it's not even a dot on the timeline of dinosaurs, not even billions of years when the earth got formed, but just in dinosaur years, we will be negligible. And then why do we worry about ego? Why do we worry about materialistic things? Why do we worry? Well, it's good to have money and buy things and all, but making memories and really giving yourself to everybody around us is so important. So take us through your journey, and what lessons have you learned, and things like that. We would love to find out. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are hundreds and thousands, and honestly, tens of thousands of lessons that I've learned along my journey, and I continue to learn because one, the journey never stops. Um, Even though I'm 32 years old, I feel like I've been on this journey of personal development for about 60, 70 years because it's something that I've continuously and consistently put myself in is this space of immersion and this space of personal development and growth. Um, I was introduced to personal development when I was 9 years old. So my parents, my mom, my dad, my entire family physically made us and dragged us to our very first personal development event.
Yeah.
And it was by a guy named Tony Robbins, and it was a UPW. So this was one of the first events. This is his introductory event where he has everybody walk across the 2,000-degree poles barefoot. And
Wow.
so we were living in London at the time. And, quite honestly, I didn't really like school. I never really liked school. And I was more excited about missing 2 days of school than actually going to this Tony Robbins event, this personal development event. I didn't like school. So I was like, hey, all right, Thursday and Friday, my parents have
Why
said,
not?
there's no school, but you have to go to this event. And so we went, and I remember on the first day, everyone was talking about this firewalk and this firewalk, and it's mind over matter. And
Yes.
and I realized later on that everything is mind over matter. But when I was 9 years old, I remember walking outside and I smelt the fire. I could see the flame burning, and that's when things really hit me for real. And I was like, wait, am I really going to walk across 2,000-degree cold barefoot? And then I talk about these voices that we all have as individuals. Some of these voices, push us down a direction that we want to go in life, that's serving us and supporting us and getting the results that we want. And there are voices that we have that aren't getting the results that we want, that are holding us back, that are really hurting us and hurting the people that we love.
Mhm.
And we all have these voices. And so on that day, I had voices inside my head that said, you know, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not strong enough. You're going to be the youngest kid, the youngest person to walk across poles and burn all his feet and die. Like, who do you think you are? And so all of these voices started to show up in my head. And then the next thing you know, I'm standing in front of the fire, and Tony Robbins is literally standing next to me. And he looked down at me and said, "Are you ready?" He said, "Look up and say yes, say yes, say yes." And I was like, which voice do I want to listen to? Do I want to listen to the voice that's telling me, yes, 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 you could do it, AJ? Or do you want to continue listening to the voice that says, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, all of these stuff? And I remember taking my first step, and then my second step, and then my third step. And, I was 9 years old. 12 feet seemed like a long distance for me at that age. And I remember feeling the cold, wet grass on the other side, and I made a decision. See, in life, my friends, decisions determine our destiny. The decision you make today will determine how you feel tomorrow,
Yes.
will determine how
Yes.
you feel later. So I made a decision. And the decision I made was basically, if I could walk across 2000-degree cold barefoot and not get burnt, nothing happened, what else could I do? And it was simply a metaphor for life, because we all go through fires in my life. I've been through hundreds of fires since that day, not physical fires, but mental, emotional,
Mm.
spiritual fires that could have stopped me from doing a lot of things in my
Ah,
life. But my friends, it's training your muscle, just like going to the gym every single day, right? You
yes.
can't go to the gym once and be fit for life. Otherwise, every single human being will be fit for life.
Yep.
But it's the same. It's the same with love. It's the same with personal development. It's the same with becoming the best version of you. You have to practice telling yourself all of these beautiful things and showing up in your greatness. And when
Yes.
you do, that muscle gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it becomes easier and easier to step into your greatness. So
True.
that
So yeah.
yeah. So I've been practicing that muscle since that day, but 15 years old was when the direction of my life completely changed. We were living in Florida at the time. I was living here in Orlando, and I was getting bullied by so many people in my school. I was
Mm.
getting bullied. I was getting bullied a lot in London as well, but I was getting bullied for the color of my skin. I was getting bullied because I was overweight and fat. I was getting bullied because I was intelligent. I was thinking outside the box. I was a lot different than most kids. But when I was getting bullied, I thought there was something wrong with me. Just like a lot of kids, a lot of young people, when they get bullied, they think it's something to do with them. But I realized later on down the line that it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with actually the other person. And so, long story short, this one quote, and it's right here actually. It's funny.
Yes.
This
Oh,
this
this.
quote changed the entire direction of my life.
Wow.
And it
The
says, "The
secret
secret to
to
living is giving."
is giving. Secret to living is
Th-
giving. Let me repeat that again. The secret to living is giving. Oh my gosh. So profound.
Yeah,
So
it's
profound.
so profound. And quite honestly, when I first heard it, Vinny, I didn't know what this meant.
Yeah.
But I knew it was the answer, right? The secret to life, the secret to living is giving. And then Tony said, he said, if you don't give and if we don't grow, we die.
Yep.
Not physically die, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, which to me, that's even worse,
So
right? Because
true.
if you're mentally, emotionally, and spiritually dead, you might as well be dead. And
Totally.
so and I wrote an entire book about this. It's called Service Above Self, that it's not necessarily money that we have to give. It's your time, it's your energy, it's your kindness, it's your love. Time is the most valuable thing in the world. We can
Yes.
never get more of it. We can never get it back.
Mhm.
And we underestimate how much of a difference we can make to other people just by being present in their life. So I didn't have money to give when I was 15 years old. I barely had enough money to attend schools and go to classes and events, but I
Mhm.
had time. And so I started to give away my time. And since that day, my focus has been on giving people time, giving them energy, giving them time, giving them love, showing up for them, making a difference in their life.
Oh, so
And since then, it's been such a magical journey, this concept of just giving. And the more you give, it's amazing how the universe works, but the more you give unconditionally, meaning you giving without wanting anything back. See, a lot of
yes.
people, they give with an expectation. For example, the number of people that say to me, AJ, okay, I'm going to donate $100 to this charity, hoping that I actually get a raise on my next paycheck, or hoping at the end of this year, in 2 months, I get the raise that I've always wanted, then I
Mm,
can donate more, right? Or I'm going to open the door for this person, hoping that, I win the lottery, or hoping that
yeah,
my son's X-ray results come back fine,
yeah.
whatever the case may be. But if you focus on giving without wanting anything in return, you're just showing up because it's the right thing to do, beautiful things will continue to happen for you.
I
And
love it.
again, that's a muscle that we have to practice.
I love what you're sharing because we have so many common themes. And, I really believe that. I think more we give unselfishly without asking anything back in every relationship, just not in business, but also in family and friends and people who are in need. Time and money are the two most important commodities. If you don't have money, go ahead and give time. And that's what you did. And I hope everybody listening to us and watching us, whether you are in, young age, or you're in the middle and baby boomer, or retired like me, 71 years, I behave like 17, people tell me. But the key thing is we got to really make worthwhile decisions every day of giving. The secret to living is giving. So great message. But let me ask you a question. I mean, how would you tell people who are really living in the past how to get them to break open, their scotomas or the limitations, or they are just not taking that step to get out of their, the darkness, or the world they're in, let's say that,
Hmm.
and the depression they're in.
Yeah, so that's a great question. There's so many different layers to that question. One is, I think the most important thing is if anybody wants to get out of the state that they're in, and all there are is states, right? We can be in a state of frustration, state of depression, state of anxiety, state of sadness.
Mhm,
And I use this example. Let's say you're in New York, for example, and something's happening. There's an emergency happening in New York. What do you do? Well, the most common answer is you just leave the state. You go to a different state. And if you don't like that state, you move. And then you
mhm,
get to a state, you come down to Florida and you're like, oh my God, this is a beautiful state. The weather's great, everyone's so nice.
mhm.
But we forget that we have the choice to do that with our own emotional state as well. But we as human beings, 95% of everything that we do from the moment we wake up in the morning to the moment we close our eyes at night,
Mhm.
from how you brush your teeth to if you brush your teeth, to what socks you put on, which side of the bed you get off on. Everything we do, 95% of it we learn and develop before the age of 18. So
Mhm.
most human beings have already developed and practiced this muscle of going down roads that are going to lead to states of depression, states of anxiety, states of sadness, and they've practiced it for so long. So one is, if you want to get out of those states, you have to become aware that you're in that state,
Mhm.
right? That's key number one. Once you become aware that you're in that state, see, emotions give us information. I
Mhm.
look at, okay, if someone's pissed off or they're angry or they're frustrated, first question I'm gonna ask them is, what are they focused on?
Yeah.
Right? And most of the time they're focused on things that are going wrong, things that could go wrong, things that happened in the past. All of those things will then lead to those negative feelings.
Yeah.
But then what could we do? What could we focus on that will lead to happiness? What could we focus on that will lead to gratitude? What can we focus on that will lead to love? Well, we have to ask ourselves, okay, what is our greatness? What is our gift?
Yeah.
What do we love to do? And start putting ourselves in doing those things, and start putting ourselves in those situations, and then we start to feel better. And
So
then it's
true.
just practice. right? It's like, let's say 20 hours a day, someone is depressed, angry, and frustrated, and 4 hours a day, they're happy and sad, or happy and grateful. It's
Yes.
a simple math equation. We need to have them show up in more or doing more things that are going to make them feel happy and in their center. And naturally, after a couple of weeks, after a couple of months, we'll reduce that number. You
Yeah.
know, anxiety, fear, frustration, anger, that's all going to show up. It's never going to disappear. If
Yeah.
someone's going to tell you you can get rid of that in your life forever, it's not
Mm.
true, because shit's always, excuse my French, but life is always going to throw crap on, right? But it's not what happens to you in life, is what you do about it. And it's really coming down to how you look at things and what you focus on.
So true, so true. And also the law of attraction and law of abundance also talks about the secret, we call it. There are so many great videos out there and all. The more you think about the negatives or the past failures, the more your subconscious start keeping this in mind, your future will be fearful too. And you'll attract more of the same thing. That's what it's all about. That is so true. What we think about and act and do, we get more of that. What we do less of, and then we are changing, just like, you're saying, Ajay, changing that from 70% to 30% positive, 70, 30, and then changing it to 50, 50, then 30 here, 70 here.
That's
Wow.
right.
That's the light bulb. That's where we need to be, in that positivity. In my book also, I talk a lot about that, how we could program the brain to start thinking. Just like you said, those negatives will be there. They will be there. You cannot leave them. But the more you are able to put them in a box and understand why they happen and how they happened and everything, and learn from it, but then work on how can we make tomorrow a better day? How can we pay gratitude? And the secret to living is giving. This whole episode, I think we're going to say that. This will be the episode. The secret to living is giving is what we're going to say in the episode too, because giving the gratitude and making people special who have changed your life, make them even feel better, it will be so much more coming back in your life. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the biggest things I teach now, starting even at 5, 6 years old,
Mhm.
is gratitude, appreciation. It's something that's missing in a lot of people, and it's gratitude and appreciation is also a muscle.
Mhm.
You can't just be grateful and appreciative once a year and that's how you're going to be. It's a state again.
Yes.
And when you can train yourself to, let's come down on the most basic level, right? We've all heard life is so short, right? You even said it in the beginning of the show, right?
Yes.
We've all heard YOLO, right? You only live once.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, can we, or how can you truly be grateful for even the smallest things?
Yeah.
There are some individuals that didn't wake up this morning, right? But we only get reminded of these things through conversations like this, or my dad called me yesterday and he said one of his dear friend's brother passed away, a
Oh,
gas leak in his apartment in New York,
oh,
and you're
wow.
just like you don't expect it, but until you hear it and you become aware of it, that's when you are aware to it. You become aware to it, but then life just happens, right? You forget that, oh yeah, life is so precious. But what if you truly developed a muscle and a practice where you were truly grateful the moment you woke up in the morning?
So
Where
true.
instead of reaching for your phone or reaching for that, you were just like, you know what? I'm truly grateful to be alive. And then I'm
Yes.
truly grateful for my hands and my family and this. And you put yourself in this state of gratitude, then imagine how you show up to everything else after that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. This morning, Wednesdays, I do that 1 hour show on mentoring the youth. And that's what I talked about today, this morning, actually. How many of us press that snooze alarm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And how many of us get up before even the alarm goes off? And how many of us don't need the alarm? The body just wakes you up and you're excited and motivated. And you go and brush your teeth and look in the mirror and you say, what a handsome, man or girl. And
Yeah.
I'm going to make a difference in lives of people today. But contrary to that, how many of us just get up and we don't want to get up, and then we go to the mirror and we are half alive, and some of us are half, I shouldn't say dead, I use the word dead because a lot of us are dead. Actually, we are
Yeah.
zombies in the morning when we get up and we just don't want to wake up. That's a worst feeling anybody can have. Anybody can have. So being excited and setting those goals and affirmations and talking about what you're going to do tomorrow, it's so important. And when we sleep at night, reading some positive thing and getting up in the morning and looking at that card, 3x5 card, 3x5 card. One of my friend Joshua shared today, 20 cards, affirmation cards.
Mm.
He's the one who got Bill and Melinda Foundation, Microsoft chiefs, 5 years of college free at Stanford. And he
Wow.
became a CEO of his own company at the age of 19, which was a beneficial nonprofit to teach the high school students, the experience of IT industry. So a lot of
Mm.
great things. I'm just saying because it's in my mind today. But the
Yeah.
thing, let's take each day. Each day is a birthday. Literally, when we are alive tomorrow after 8 hours of sleep, where our body does so many chemical reactions and all and rejuvenates us, it's time to wake up and take over the world and be in the gratitude phase and giving phase all the day.
Yeah. And the giving phase, I'm a big believer in self-love and self-care. We even though we live in a world, in my opinion, now where a lot of people are only focused on themselves and what's
Yes.
in it for them,
Yep.
part of self-love and self-care is being able to look after yourself, not from an ego standpoint, but from a standpoint of when you are taken care of,
Yeah.
your family's taking care of, the people around you that you love are taking care of, your community are taking care of. Right. So it's how can you become the absolute best version of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And
Mm-hmm.
when you take care of yourself from that standpoint, you love yourself unconditionally from that standpoint, then imagine how you show up at the grocery store. Imagine how you show up at work. Imagine how you show up with your kids. Imagine how you show up for that meeting. Imagine how you interact with other people when you operate from that standpoint.
Exactly. Giving the smile, touching somebody and
Yeah.
helping and giving your time and, just being there for somebody. You could save one life. I say that, this life is worthwhile. We are here in the dinosaur years. We are just like a dot. But if we can save even one life, of course, we want to save millions of lives. Why not? Right. But the big thing is, if we can make a difference in somebody's life, it's so, so important. One more thing I really caught on with you, Ajay, you said we are God put us here for a special reason. We really did. And every single life is precious. If somebody asked me, Vinny, could you take a $1 million and give me your left eye? Would I give that? Or if they ask me, can I take a finger? I need a finger on my hand. I just cut, in the machine or something. Would I give it for $2 million, my finger? We could ask that, ourselves. No, nobody will give. No parent will give any child's or any parts of the body. What God brought us here with body, soul, and mind. It's so, so unique and so
Mm.
different that we should take care of it. It's a temple. In Indian language, we call it body
Yeah.
is a temple, and we need to take good care of it, fitness wise, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, just like, and financially is very important too, because if we don't have a little bit money, and we are not able to eat correctly and, and give to charities and travels and make memories, that's not good either. So I hope everybody watching us and listening, I hope you're enjoying this episode, guys. It's brought to you by Monil Investment Group, Monil Management Group, Monil Senior Living, and Monil Hospitality, and Monil Bitcoin, Berlin, all these different companies that, they sponsor this show. Thank you for watching. Ajay, yeah, give us some more great nuggets. You have been adding so much value, and I value your time so much. And you're traveling all over the world. You're giving presentations. When are you here in the Bay Area? Maybe a lot of our listeners will be from here.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to come. Yeah, I like going down to San Diego quite often, but if we create a time and an event, I'm more than happy to come up to the Bay Area for
Oh,
sure.
lovely, lovely. Yeah, San Diego, you go quite often. I do have good circle there also. Orange County also. I just came from a office. I think there were 125 people, family offices, because in my
Wow.
business, I'm a syndicator. I raise money legally and investors' money, and I invest that and give them great returns. I could talk about it because I teach also in my academy the whole just the whole thing, and my books teach also. But the key thing is to invest in commercial real estate in right underwritten assets, and then give returns back of 15, 20, 30, even as high as 70% per year. I've given back to my my
Wow.
investors and so on. So San Diego is very, very beautiful place. Yeah.
Yeah,
So do you give
that's awesome.
presentations there with Tony or like that? Tony is there now in Florida though, right? No.
Yeah, he's in West Palm Beach. Yeah, I stopped working for Tony Robbins about 6.5 years ago.
Okay. Oh, okay,
I
okay.
really loved working with him. I did it for about 4 years. I traveled all around the country.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and I did
I
over a
knew a good
thousand
friend of
talks.
Tony, Luke Wren. Do you remember Luke Wren at all?
I know I've heard of him.
Oh, you
I
can.
think he was there about a couple years before I
Okay.
was there. Yeah,
Okay, I came to know him a little bit. Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. I know Tony has done miraculous work. I mean, thank you, Tony. Publicly, I want to thank you. And not only that, so many great mentors and Zig Ziglars and the Jim Rohns and, of course, Dale Carnegie's books and Norman
yeah.
Peels and, all those great, great people are there who have inspired us. So who are your great mentors? Tony will be one. Who else?
Tony's one.
And
My
your
dad is
dad and mom,
definitely one of them.
definitely. Yeah.
Mum for sure. My grandfather is definitely one of my mentors. I followed Sir Richard Branson for many
Yeah.
years, and we've
Yes.
connected on many levels. Les Brown is a great mentor of
Yes.
mine.
Brown, amazing
Um,
personality. Yep.
yeah, and I have, a lot of great mentors that are family, cousins that I look up to. Even kids that I work with, I wouldn't call them mentors. I'm their mentor. However, there's always something you can learn from everybody, I believe.
Surely.
Even some of the youngest kids I've ever worked with have taught me so much. So, we can all be mentors and mentees of each other when we're open to growing and listening. But
Very
yeah, I'm
profound.
always open
Very
to
profound what you just said. See, a lot of us stop growing. A lot of us we don't want to watch or listen. We are not, like we put shield around us, I say many times, that we know everything and everything and everything. That's just a false pretense. And we need to be totally inquisitive and asking questions and learning new skills and cutting edge, because if we can really learn and then apply and share with our people around us, being the positive big millions, then that's where life is about. So share
yeah.
with us any books or something. I know your book you want to share, and how can people reach you and all. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've just recently launched my book a couple months ago. It's called Service Above Self, Living a Fulfilled Life of Happiness, Love, and Inner Peace.
Oh wow, you have a
And
copy, show us.
yeah, I do. Hold
I
on.
know.
Yeah, it's
I'm
downstairs. Okay,
I'm sitting in the
I'll
back
post it in the
outside.
link.
Yeah,
I apologize.
no problem.
But it's a very short read. It's an easy read. You can get it from Amazon. And the purpose of this book is to really the real life examples of myself and people that I know, that how small acts of kindness and showing up and doing the right thing can create such a big difference. And it's all, personal stories that I've been a part of like the secret to living is giving, and how, just small random acts of kindness can go such a long way. So it's beautiful, it's easy to read, kids love it, families love it. It'll take less than an hour. And it's, there was a lot of hesitation from my end when I was writing this book, because one, I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think it was going to be great. I didn't think people were going to read it. I didn't think the stories were going to be powerful. And after I finally launched it, I had so many people reach out to me that said, bro, it was amazing. It was life changing.
Okay.
So again, like, we never know the difference that we can make, right? Vinny, you do so many things, and when you're operating from this level or this frequency, we forget sometimes that just our presence can make a difference. So, it's important, my friends, whoever's listening, keep showing up in your greatness, keep showing up, with love, keep showing up, wanting to create an impact. And when you do, the universe just moves things out of your way to make it happen, you know?
So true, so true. I'm so glad you're saying that. We got to show up. We got to show up dressed up and with great attitude and with great positivity and great, look at the real deals. Look at the realistic things, but take out the negative out of that. We always say there is a silver lining to dark cloud, which is for a reason, is that phrase, because there is always dark cloud. If you get smothered by the dark cloud and not see the silver lining, you won't be able to get out of that misery and the distrust and everything and all the things that's happening. You got to face it and then take action so that you are able to get out of that into more productive and positive things. The big thing I wanted to mention was, oh my gosh, I had some thought, but the key thing is by giving. That's what this whole show is about. Secret to living is giving. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And, let's go a little bit deeper with the giving, right? So it's not just money, like I said, it's your time, it's your energy, it's physically, mentally, emotionally. But parents out there, right? They have one of the biggest job in itself is being a parent.
Yeah.
But how can you contribute to a really high level as a parent is when you give your time to your child, right? And not only when you give your time to them, but when you do give your time to them, be there physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually too. The number of parents I come across where they're physically there with their child, but they're on their phone or their laptop, or they're thinking about something else and they're not actually there. So, when you're giving whatever you're giving, do it with beautiful, pure intention. I had someone the other day who was like, I'm just going to give $100,000 to charity. I
Mm,
said, okay, yeah, that's great, but how much have you given this year? They said, no,
yeah.
no, no, I'm just going to give $100,000 when I get my million, right? So it's a muscle that we have to practice. If you
Yes.
really, if you can't or don't give $10 when you have 100, or $100 when you have 2,000, you are 100% not going to give $100,000 when you have a million, because you haven't practiced that.
So true, so true. What you're saying is it's so very right. And a lot of time also, Ajay, what people say is, what, out of whatever I give, only 70% or 50% goes to the real cause. And my answer to those people is find the causes that give 100%. There are so many great nonprofits and different organizations, they give 100%. Why not? Why not? Because every dollar counts for hunger, for whatever, for water, for zero carbon, for planting the trees. I mean, all these different great
Yeah.
initiatives, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, and those people that say that, quite honestly, I think it's to some degree there could be a truth to that, but it's also just a way out, right? So
Mhm.
I believe that if you really want to make a difference, you can. You
Yeah.
don't have to give it to any organization. There are hungry families and hungry people on the same street that you live on, some
Yes,
of you.
yes,
We
yes.
have to, we don't know that, but
So
it's
true.
true.
So
If you go down any downtown, especially if you go downtown in San Francisco, Bay Area, there are hundreds of homeless people, right? So
yes.
all you have to really do is get a couple, like these water bottles that I have, get 60 of them. They're only $5 for a crate, and
Mhm.
get 25 bananas and just hand them out, right? Start with that and just see and notice the difference.
So true, so true. There are so many acts of kindness. What you're saying, like I remember, and I want to really thank your dad, Anil Gupta, also for being on my show. And if anybody who has not watched that show or listened to that, please do, because that really is amazing, amazing show, just like this one with Ajay. And I want to thank both of you, and
Thank
especially
you.
you today, for being on my show. And it's going to be fabulous as we turn each and every leaf. If we save one life and thousand or millions of lives and educate people to be better human being by giving with gratitude, we have accomplished a little bit. Any last
Yeah,
comments,
absolutely.
Ajay?
No, I'm grateful to you, brother. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for allowing me to use your platform to spread these beautiful gifts. And
Thank
it's each one. I heard this when I was 13 years old. Eat one, reach one, eat one, teach one. Right. So, you know, we all have the power to make a difference. Just continue making a difference.
you. So true, so true. If I may just add to that, I always say 1 and 1 is not 2, but 11. And
Mm,
1 and 1, 3 is not 3, it's 111. So it's the power of really fusion theory, which is like, your small kindness will bring so many great pleasures to so many people. So become a Pygmalion to spread the good word, and don't ever think that you two are 2, but you two are 11, and you three are 111, and so on. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ajay, for coming on the show. It's been such a pleasure. And again, please, if you like the show, share it. Give us that 5-star reviews, because that brings us great guests on the show. God bless you. And we'll be talking to you soon. And take care.